In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So this is a very significant verse that appears in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Read the purport. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam, known as the Krama Sandarbha, wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That golden Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. That is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Garga Muni, who said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appeared in 3 other colors, red, white, and yellow. He exhibited his white and red complexions in the Satya and Treta Yugas respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color, yellow, gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Gaur Hari. So there's a kind of logic at work here. Just to briefly refer back to this, Garga Muni, during the ceremony at Krishna's birth ceremony, he described this. He said, your son Krishna, he's speaking to Nanda Maharaj. This is from the 10th canto, 8th chapter. Your son Krishna appears as an incarnation in every millennium. In the past, he assumed 3 different colors, white, red, and yellow. And now he has appeared in a blackish color. In another Dwapara Yuga, he appeared as Lord Ramachandra in the color of Shuka, a parrot. All such incarnations have now assembled in Krishna. So I'm just going to read the purport. This is a very nice verse. And the thing to bear in mind is that there's a kind of logic here, because Lord Chaitanya is described as Chana avatar, which means either hidden or covered. So there's several reasons he's described as Chana. One of them is that he didn't appear as an avatar, in the sense that he appeared as a devotee. So because he appeared as the greatest devotee of Krishna, not as Krishna. In fact, whenever anybody would refer to him as an avatar or an incarnation of Krishna, he would cover his ears. He didn't really come with that in mind to be worshipped as an avatar, but rather he came to propagate the best process for self-realization for this age. So therefore he, just as Krishna is sometimes referred to as Tri Yuga, and one of the explanations given by the Acharyas is that Tri Yuga refers to, aside from couples, Yuga means couple, but there are 3 qualities that characterize the other Yugas: cleanliness, mercy, and austerity. However, in Kali Yuga, these qualities are practically absent. But still, Krishna was so merciful that he appeared not as an avatar exactly, although he is the Yuga avatar, because he came to propagate the actual process for self-realization for this age, the chanting of the holy names. But he appeared as a great devotee to teach people how to become God conscious in this age of Kali. He's so merciful that even though there are no good qualities practically in the age of Kali, still he appeared and gave a very simple and perfect process for self-realization. So in this way, he is referred to as Chana. Also, he's referred to Chana avatar because he appears in a yellow color. It's considered that Krishna is dark, but he was covered by this yellow color, Pita. So in that way, he's also sometimes described as covered. And Lord Chaitanya uses the word Chana in a very interesting way, describing himself. And I believe this is in his descriptions to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And in that case, he refers to himself as Chana, meaning deranged. He described himself as a madman. And he said that I was crazy, therefore I took sannyas. In a crazy state of mind, I took sannyas. I shouldn't have done it, but I did it. So he refers to himself as deranged. But then once in a conversation with Allen Ginsberg, Prabhupada, he said that one of the qualifications of devotees is insanity. So he said you have to be mad for Krishna. So there's a kind of transcendental madness which is very favorable for practicing Krishna consciousness. One has to become mad for Krishna. So that enthusiasm for Krishna becomes a kind of madness. The obsessive. Whenever somebody exhibits obsessive behavior, we sometimes describe them as crazy. So Lord Chaitanya described himself as crazy. But that kind of craziness is a good thing. Generally, it's not considered a very good thing to be crazy. But this kind of craziness is favorable. Anyway, Gargamuni describes these different colors, including yellow. And the purport, Prabhupada writes, partially explaining the position of Lord Krishna and partially covering the facts. Because he's speaking to Nanda Maharaj, he doesn't want to, get Nanda Maharaj too bewildered. Because Nanda Maharaj has a sentiment of Krishna as his son. So he's trying to, in a sense, Gargamuni, as we say, at least in America, he's pulling his punches a little bit. Doesn't want to shock him too much. Your son is God, so be careful. Although, more or less, he does say it, but he tries to say it in such a way that Nanda won't become too agitated. So he says, your son is a great personality, and he can change the color of his body in different ages. The word Grinata indicates that Krishna is free to make his choice. In other words, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and may therefore do whatever he desires. In Vedic literature, the different colors assumed by the Personality of Godhead in different millenniums are stated, and therefore when Gargamuni said, your son has assumed these colors, he indirectly said, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of Kamsa's atrocities, Gargamuni tried to avoid disclosing this fact, but he indirectly informed Nanda Maharaj that Krishna, his son, was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It may be noted that Srila Jiva Goswami in his book, Krama Sandarbha, has enunciated the purport of this verse. In every millennium, Krishna appears in a different form, either as white, red, or yellow, but this time, he personally appeared in his original blackish form and, as predicted by Gargamuni, exhibited the power of Narayana. Because in this form the Supreme Personality of God exhibits himself fully, his name is Sri Krishna, the All-Attractive. Factually, Krishna is the source of all avatars, and therefore all the different features of the different avatars are present in Krishna. Now this is also the case with Lord Chaitanya. It's called Avatari. Means he's the source of the other incarnations. When Krishna incarnates, all the features of other incarnations are already present within him. Other incarnations are partial representations of Krishna, who is the full-fledged incarnation of the Supreme Being. It is to be understood that the Supreme Being, whether appearing as Shukla, Rakta, or Pitta, white, red, or yellow, is the same person. When he appears in different incarnations, he appears in different colors, just like the sunshine, which contains 7 colors. Sometimes the colors of sunshine are represented separately. Otherwise, the sunshine is observed mainly as bright light. The different avatars, such as the Manvantara avatars, Leela avatars, and Das avatars, are also included in the Krishna avatar. When Krishna appears, all the avatars appear with him. As described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.26, Avatara Yavashankyeya Hare Sattva Nider Dvija Yata Vidashina Kulya Sarasasu Sahasrashaha. The avatars incessantly appear like incessantly flowing water. No one can count how many waves there are in flowing water, and similarly, there is no limitation of the avatars. And Krishna is the full representation of all avatars because he is the source of all avatars. Krishna is Ankshi, whereas others are Anksha, part of Krishna. All living entities, including us, are Ankshas. Mamayev Anksho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. These anshas are of different magnitude. Human beings, who are minute anshas, and the demigods, Vishnu Tattvas, and all other living beings are all part of the Supreme. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. Krishna is the full representation of all living entities, and when Krishna is present, all avatars are included in him. The 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes the incarnations for each yuga in chronological order. The Bhagavatam says, Krite Shuklas Chaturbahu Tretayang Rakta Varnoso Dwarpare Bhagavan Syama and Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. So these are the descriptions that in the Satya Yuga, the Shukla avatar, the white incarnation appears. In Treta, the Rakta, the reddish incarnation. Now I know sometimes we see Treta Yuga as the appearance of Ram, but he appears in different yugas according to his desire. Dwarpare Bhagavan Syama, in the Dwapara Yuga he appears as darkish complected Krishna. And in Kali Yuga, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam, the golden or Pitta. It says, we actually see that in Kali Yuga, Bhagavan has appeared in Pitta Varna, or a yellow color, as Gaur Sundar, although the Bhagavatam speaks of Krishna Varnam. To adjust all these statements, one should understand that although in some yugas some of the colors are prominent, in every yuga when Krishna appears, all the colors are present. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears without Krishna, or a blackish color, he is understood to be Krishna himself. Idanim Krishna Tang Gata. The same original Krishna who appears in different varnas has now appeared. The word asan indicates that he is always present. Whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in his full feature, he is understood to be Krishna Varnam, although he appears in different colors. Prahlad Maharaj states that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Chana. That is, although he is Krishna, he is covered by a yellow color. So this Chana, again, means it has various meanings, but one of them here is described as covered by yellow color. Also covered in the sense that he appeared in the guise of a devotee, not as God. Thus, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas accept the conclusion that although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Pitta color, he is Krishna. And then it cites this verse that we're speaking on today. So, Garga Muni establishes this logic very clearly, that because all the other colors that Krishna already appeared, he had appeared in white and red and this darkish color of Krishna. So the only one left in his little list of colors was this yellow. So when we say Krishna, although it doesn't directly say golden, it says not dark. So you could argue in one sense, well, how about white? That's not dark. But Krishna had already appeared in that color. So therefore, this Pitta, the golden color, was the one that this Krishna indicates. A little indirectly, but still it's there. And it specifically describes his mission, Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar, that he's come to establish this Sankirtan Yagya, the process of chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let's read a little more of the purport here. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varna means Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Varna and Krishna Chaitanya are equivalent. The name Krishna appears both with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Krishna. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he always engages in describing Krishna and thus enjoys transcendental bliss by chanting and remembering his name and form. Lord Krishna himself appears as Lord Chaitanya to preach the highest gospel. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna and describes it also, and because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe it to others. This is described in the travels of Lord Chaitanya in South India, that wherever he went, crowds would gather and they would begin chanting along with him and become ecstatic. And then anybody that saw those persons that had been made into ecstatic devotees by the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and by hearing him vibrating the holy name. Even in the Chaitanya Shikshamrita, it's described that an Uttama Adhikari devotee, by his association, you can experience symptoms of bhava. So this is just in the association of an angsha, of a particle of Krishna. So what to speak of when Krishna is personally present, those people who actually witnessed him chanting the holy name, they became overwhelmed with ecstasy. And people who saw those people became overwhelmed with ecstasy. And in this way, he spread this chanting throughout South India. So here it's described, he said, they'll automatically chant and later describe it to others. It says, he injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness. Last night we read an interesting, what was that word? It said something about cognition. What was it? Spiritual cognition. Prabhupada described the effect of association with a pure Vaishnava, what to speak of the association of Krishna, is that one will become elevated and come to the platform of spiritual cognition, which means transcendental realization. That one will actually get such spiritual enlightenment that he'll become enlightened. So just by association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by spending even a few seconds, what to speak, just imagine, when describing pure devotees, it says, lava matra, that even a moment's association, sadhu sangha, sarva shastri koi, lava matra, sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi koi, all perfection can be achieved by a moment's association with the pure Vaishnava. What to speak, just try to imagine what it must have been like to be in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chanting, in ecstasy, and what the effect would be. How powerful. If an ordinary person can exhibit so much charisma, what to speak of the charisma of the Supreme Lord himself? Overwhelming. People would become helpless and simply chant in uncontrollable happiness and ecstasy. So it says here that he injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which immerses the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personality or by sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Now, philosophically, the Goswamis have elaborately established Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's position as an avatar. They've found verses in Mahabharata and all throughout the scriptures. It's establishing, not only, it mentions, in fact, in Chaitanya Upanishad, for instance, it mentions his mission, it mentions his parentage, it mentions the place where he'll take birth, all these things that are required to establish someone as an incarnation. Yet, in the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that whether you accept Lord Chaitanya as an avatar or whether you just accept him as a saintly person who delivered a wonderful process for self-realization, it doesn't matter. He said it didn't matter really, as long as you followed the process. So even if someone doesn't like to accept Lord Chaitanya as God, still if they follow his process, then they'll become enlightened. So it says here, but so far as we understand, and so far as the Goswamis have established, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself. So he's here, Prabhupada is analyzing different parts of the verse, different lines in the verse. Sango Pangastra Parshadam further indicates that Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments of sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. By his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of the age. So this astra, the astra is considered to be his beauty, the weapon. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's weapon was his beautiful appearance. People would become so charmed and so attracted. It says here, by his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of the age. In other descents, the Lord sometimes used weapons to defeat the demoniac. But in this age, the Lord subdues them with his all-attractive figure as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that his beauty is his astra or weapon to subdue the demons. Because he is all attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. So all these great personalities that accompanied Lord Chaitanya in his appearance on the earth were all, incredible personalities, either from the spiritual world or from the higher planetary systems in the universe. And they all accompanied him to enliven him in his pastimes. He likes to come with his associates. Krishna always has an entourage. He doesn't appear alone. Prabhupada actually didn't much like pictures of Krishna by himself, because he doesn't usually appear. He doesn't just appear on his own. He always appears with his friends, with his associates, with his lovers. Always has his associates. So, it says here, all the demigods lived with him as his companions. His acts were uncommon and his associates wonderful. When you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and you read about these amazing personalities that accompanied Lord Chaitanya and the loving exchanges that took place. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he described the writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita like an unlimited stream of nectar. Because it's all about the loving exchanges between the Vaishnavas and the Supreme Lord. That's the sum and substance of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, these initial volumes are extremely philosophical, especially this first volume of Adi-lila, because it's establishing so that people won't take it as sentimentalism. It's establishing philosophically the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his great associates, and the philosophy that he propounded in very, very philosophical and erudite terms, in defiance of all other philosophical systems. But as you progress through the Chaitanya Charitamrita and also in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, the whole sum and substance is loving exchanges between devotees and Krishna, devotees and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it says, when he propagated the Sankirtan movement, he attracted many great scholars and acharyas, especially in Bengal and Orissa. Lord Chaitanya is always accompanied by his best associates like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, and Srivas. Srila Jiva Goswami cites a verse from the Vedic literature which says that there is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. He comments that instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, all people, regardless of caste, color, or creed, can assemble together and chant Hare Krishna to worship. Chant Hare Krishna to worship Lord Chaitanya. Krishna Varnam Vishak Krishnam indicates that prominence should be given to the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya taught Krishna consciousness and chanted the name of Krishna. Therefore, to worship Lord Chaitanya, everyone should together chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To propagate worship in churches, temples, or mosques is not possible because people have lost interest in that. But anywhere and everywhere, people can chant Hare Krishna. Thus, worshiping Lord Chaitanya, they can perform the highest activity and fulfill the highest religious purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a famous disciple of Lord Chaitanya, said, the principle of transcendental devotional service having been lost, Sri Krishna Chaitanya has appeared in order to deliver again the process of devotion. He is so kind that he is distributing love for Krishna. Everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet, as humming bees are attracted to a lotus flower. So Lord Chaitanya has been described also by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Namo Rupa Goswami. Namo Mahavananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. Namne Gora Vishay Namaha. These are the most magnanimous, most merciful incarnation because he freely distributes love of God. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is appearing always as a Vaishnava, as a devotee, to give the process for self-realization in this age. And this verse from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam summarizes his activities. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Krishna, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Earlier in the second chapter of this volume, there was a list of, this is a different, there was a list of statements about the from different parts of the scripture that describe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. This was in the text 22 of chapter 2. He says, from the Chaitanya Upanishad, Gora Sarvatma Mahapurusho Mahatma Mahayogi Trigunatita Sattvarupo Bhaktim Loke Kasyati. Lord Gora, who is the all-pervading super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, appears as a great saint and powerful mystic who is above the three modes of nature and is the emblem of transcendental activity. He disseminates the cult of devotion throughout the world. And then from the Krishna, it says the Krishna Yamala Tantra, it says, Punya Kshetre Navadvipe Bhavishyami Sachi Sutta. I shall appear in the holy land of Navadvip as the son of Sachi Devi. And from the Vayu Purana, Kalo Sankirtanarambe Bhavishyami Sachi Sutta. In the age of Kali, when the Sankirtan movement is inaugurated, I shall descend as the son of Sachi Devi. Brahmayamala Tantra says, Atara Vahang Dharadhame Bhutva Bhakta Rupa Drik Mayayam Chabhavishyami Kalo Sankirtanagame. Sometimes I personally appear in the service of the world in the garb of a devotee. Specifically, I appear as the son of Sachi in Kali Yuga to start the Sankirtan movement. So that's pretty direct. Anyway, there are so many citations. There are actually, the Goswamis have compiled dozens of citations to indicate and to prove that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Lord who had come to deliver the Yuga Dharma of this age. So I'm going to stop there, see if there's any questions, comments.